Hi, welcome to, what is this, part 14 of Frodo's journey, and you're about to join me as we try and discover a question that I don't know the answer to. I do know a bit of the answer to it, because I've tried a bit of this before, and we're going to go again. I'll tell you where I tried it before and where we got to, and then we'll see what we're going to do after that. But anyway, we can't travel by boat, because that's the way the Fellowship went next after. We are in Lothlorien, by the way. We're just about to leave Lothlorien in the same manner as the Fellowship, except we can't travel by boat. So we are going to have to swim. And that's what we're going to do. So here we go. Here is our athlete. This is Drungo. And he's going to swim to Parth Galen, which is where the Fellowship eventually ended their boat journey. It's a long way from here. So let's have a look at the map first of all. So let's see where we're going to try and go. Here's the Anduin. Here's me, this little arrow. We're going to zoom out, and you can see that the Anduin is coming all the way down here. We're here. We have to go to Rohan. The Great River comes all the way down here. We have the river comes in from the Misty Mountains, and then we come all the way down to this area here, and Parth Galen is where we're trying to get to, which is down here somewhere. And then Frodo's journey continues across to the east. So let's get out of this. Here we go. You ready? Ready, we're ready. Let's go. We're going to go swimming. Whee! Right, so there is a bit of a snag swimming the whole way, and I'm going to tell you about it, hopefully before we die, because I died the last time, and it threw me all the way back into Lorien, and I had to walk back to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop there, we're going to take a little detour around, and then we're going to start swimming again. But swimming is not the fastest way of traveling. Oh, here we're running here. Swimming is not the fastest way of traveling in Lord of the Rings Online. In fact, it's a very poor way of traveling. And they did bring out an expansion at one point called Evendom, where there was a big lake in the middle of the map, and the only way to get across it in the early versions of this expansion was to swim across it. And so it was called Evendom, but most people called it Everswim, because it was just taking too long. All the travel, you either had to run around the edge of the lake or you had to swim across it, and it took ages to get across the lake. It was further than that. That's a long way, but it was further than that, and maybe I'll show it to somebody someday. But here's where we come at a bit of a cropper. Now, I'm not going to pass this rock. In fact, I'm going to be very, very careful here. It doesn't even give you a warning about this. If you swim any further towards this kind of barrier here, this is a load of rabbits. Rapids, not rabbits. Rapids. And you die. This must be an old relic of Lothlorien being the end of the map at one stage. You couldn't get any further south than this, and obviously they decided you couldn't swim down the river, so they killed you. If you went near those rapids, you're going to die. So we're going to get out of the water. We're going to run around those rapids, and then we're going to get back in the water again as soon as we get into the next zone. You see, you could die just about there somewhere. Then it throws you back into Lothlorien, and you have to... you can't even revive for free in the same spot because you just die again. So, yeah, so we're just getting past those rapids. There we are, we're past the rapids. And we get down here, and I think we can get back in the water just about here. So, yes, that must have been the old blockage that stopped you going south from Lothlorien the last time. So here we are, swimming again. Swimming again. How exciting. What are we going to talk about today? I thought we could talk about what we thought about the casting of Peter Jackson's movies. We talked about Peter Jackson's movies a couple of videos ago, or at least not terribly much in detail, just saying I pretty much enjoyed them. Had a few things that I would disagree with, a few things I agreed with. I mean, he did a fantastic job. So some of the things we might all either agree or disagree with, and this is very subjective, of course. Peter Jackson and his team obviously felt they made all the right decisions, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the casting, and you can drop some comments below and tell me what you thought of the casting, and we'll see. So let's begin at the beginning, I guess, with uh, the Hobbit. So, and I think that's in some ways for me. I mean, Ian Holm as Bilbo is perfect, and I think he played Bilbo in the radio show as well, which I'm going to talk about at some point because it's really worth getting hold of. But Elijah Wood, I think Elijah is for me the biggest disappointment about the whole thing. I'm afraid. I mean, the main character, and in some ways, just a bit too whiny for my liking with Frodo, and didn't really get on with Elijah at all. I don't know. I mean, I think that Martin Freeman was a much better main character Hobbit than Elijah was, but I suppose that's the choice they made, and being such a big part of the movie, it kind of is probably for me the most disappointing thing about the whole series of movies, I guess. But there you go, that's the choice they made. I mean, he did an alright job, I guess, but I mean, I think that a slightly more upbeat, a slightly less miserable, a slightly less whiny Frodo would have been good. Don't know. Anyway, let's have a look around here. We're just looking over to the west shore, and you can see the forest. This is probably still a bit of Lothlorien, the southern reaches of Lothlorien. And then over on the eastern shore, we've got southern Mirkwood and probably the eaves of Mirkwood, as you would say, going on there. We might get into Drongo's Head and have another look. But yes, but Sam, outstanding. Sean Astin was brilliant as Sam. I hope everyone agrees. But I'm sure there's some people who probably didn't like him, but I thought his portrayal of Sam was very good. Possibly a little bit whimsical at times, and slightly what am I looking for? Maybe a little bit too much. Oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? It'll come to me. Anyway, we'll move on. Sam was good though. Sean Astin was excellent. Billy Boyd and who was it played? The other Hobbit. Billy Boyd was Pippin, right? And who was the fella who played the other Hobbit? Doesn't come to me at the moment, but they were both very good. I thought they were perfectly well cast. Good job on that one. Billy Boyd, I think, was probably the better of the two in terms of, coming close to what I would have thought Pippin should be, as opposed to the other fellow who played Merry. Let's see if I can find out who Merry. Just trying to find. We're just going in amongst these routes. I don't want to go too far over to the eastern shore because there's a risk of ending up, dying. I don't think you can get out in the eastern shore anyway. We are still looking at southern Mirkwood there, I think. But let's see. Still trying to find out who this was. I'm looking at a list of the cast here, and I can't even see. Oh, Mary, Dominic Monaghan. Oh, there you go, Dominic Monaghan or Monaghan. Some people pronounce these things differently. Very good. Good job by both. Well done them. I think Billy Boyd for me was the pick though of the Hobbits. Probably Sean Astin, Sam. Sentimentality, a little bit over sentimental. I knew the word would come to me eventually. A little bit of sentimentality came into some of those speeches, I guess, but very well done. I mean, can't fault the hobbits apart from Frodo, really. They were all pretty good. You find it hard to cast anybody better, I think. But I think you could certainly have cast someone other than Elijah Wood as Frodo. But anyway, what can you do about that? What about the rest of the Fellowship? We had Gandalf, of course. Sir Ian McKellen. Well, you couldn't do any better than that, could you, really? I mean, there's a few people around the place, but some of them who were still alive at the start of the movies wouldn't have been alive at the end. Ian McKellen seems to just go on forever, so well done him. That was an outstanding performance, though, and I love the little acting lesson he gave in one of the TV shows I saw. Was it the Actors thing or the Extras TV show? Oh, we seem to have had an internet blockage here. There we go. And yes, he said, I just walk onto the stage and Peter Jackson says, become Gandalf, and I go, you shall not pass! And then I become Peter again and walk off. So, Ian McKellen again and walk off, so it's good. Enjoyed that. A lot of actors could take note. Just do it. You know, don't make a whole song and dance of the whole thing. But anyway, yes, Ian McKellen, outstanding. Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. What do we think? I don't know. He looked good. I wonder whether he was a little bit on the soft side, but maybe that's what people like. For Aragorn, I mean, he is certainly a gentleman and a scholar, as they say. So, can't really argue with it. I mean, I don't know, would anybody have done it better? There might be somebody out there. I think it was important to cast someone who was relatively unknown. I don't want to criticize or make Viggo think that he was relatively unknown or anything, but you know, if they'd put, I think that a better known actor. I mean, if you put Harrison Ford of an age in that role at the time when he was at the height of his fame, all you would have seen would have been Harrison Ford. So I think fine. Don't mind that. Boromir, the other man, Sean Bean. Well, I'm not a great Sean Bean fan, but I think he did a good enough job, didn't he? I mean, somehow everything comes with a northern accent, whether he's playing Boromir or whether he's in Game of Thrones or whatever. But yeah, good enough, I guess. Sean Bean, good. And Orlando Bloom as Legolas. Pretty good. Would you have picked anybody else as Legolas? I thought he did a very good job. I would say that was almost perfect casting. And the other perfect casting was what's his name? John Rhys Davies as Gimli. That was outstanding too. John Rhys Davies's part. Outstanding. He was played a bit too much for laughs, I think, in terms of portrayal. I think Gimli in the movie. And there's a funny thing, actually, that I came across. Was it a YouTube video? I read the title, I didn't watch it, that said, I found the only moment in the whole of the Lord of the Rings trilogy where Legolas speaks to Frodo. I think he speaks to Frodo quite a lot in the book, but apparently this point, and I was just thinking about it when I look back on the movies, maybe he doesn't say a lot to Frodo at all, really. So there you go. But if we have a look around here, there's the western shore again, all Rohan. We're getting into northern Rohan sort of territory, southern Mirkwood. No, that's southern Mirkwood over there. This is southern Lorien, so the trees are starting to fade out. And this video has been going for a while, so we're going to draw it to an end fairly soon, but we'll see. What about the other men cast? Elrond, our old friend Hugo Weaving, the Aussie actor. He's an Aussie, mate. He did a good job, didn't he? I mean, you'd have to say Hugo did that well. I mean, you could have picked a whole lot of people to be Elrond, I suppose, but Hugo is pretty good. What about other characters? Arwen, Liv Tyler, she looked, well, in some ways, I suppose the elves are supposed to look sort of young and beautiful. As a young elf, she's essentially a tenth of the age of Galadriel. So as a younger elf, I suppose, looking very girlish, could say almost almost teenage look. But I think she was older than that when she did the movie. But a very young looking actress, and did a good job. I mean, Arwen's part was expanded considerably in the movie to provide a little bit more action for women, a little bit more romance, get a love story going. That always helps in a movie. And who else? We had. We might talk about other characters that come in later. That we're in the Fellowship of the Ring at the moment, but I guess we have Galadriel turns up and does a bit of voiceover and stuff at the beginning of this movie. I don't know if she actually appears in Fellowship of the Ring, does she? But anyway, Cate Blanchett. Look, I think she did it really well. She wouldn't have been my pick for the looks of Galadriel, I think. But you can't argue with her acting ability. She's outstanding and did a fabulous job. And I guess in a future video, because I think this one is running on long enough, we're just going to see. I'm just going to see how long we've been at this. 13 minutes. I think we're going to... So here's an answer to one of our questions, by the way, that we've got so far. We've managed to follow the river so far, and we're swimming down here, and we're coming up to some marshy bits. This is where this river, I think, comes in from the mountains. I don't think it's the river from Fangorn. It's not the Entwash, I don't think, but it's going to be, and it comes in. We get a marshy area as the two rivers join, and we might just get past these reeds and finish our video there. So, I mean, you can swim so far. Lovely reflection of the clouds on the water, eh? Entering Rushgore is where we're entering. That's the place. Oh, the clouds have gone. Got a bit of fog. Fog in the weeds. Let's see. Do we have to go around these, or can we go through them? Let's see. We can swim through the reeds. Excellent. Yes. Good. That'll save us a bit of time. We don't have to go around all this stuff. And we get to the other side of these reeds. We'll have another look around. We'll get out on the shore and we'll camp. Just like a good boating party, we'll not sleep in the boats. We'll camp on the shore. Looks a bit weedy over there. But as you can see on the western shore, we now have cities of various Rohan elements or men. This is we're now into the realms of men, really, which is the first time we've really got back to a human populated zone compared to since Bree. In fact, Bree was the last place we stopped where there were any significant numbers of men. So yes, these reeds go on a bit, don't they? Let's see how we're doing for time. I think we're going to draw the boats up, or at least paddle out of the water here onto the marsh. See if we can find a spot to camp. Oh, looks a bit rocky up there, doesn't it? There's a big city in the distance, look at that. And on the east side, we don't have to go over there, there's orcs and things over there, nasty guys. In fact, I don't think there's anything over there. That might be the very southern extent of southern Mirkwood. I don't think you can even get there. That's just scenery, not actual playable terrain. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull up out of the river here in this marshy bit. We'll see if we can find some decent land for a camp, and in our next video we will continue our journey south. Oh god, there's a big turtle. Wow. Hey there. Yes, don't mind if I just camp over here. Let's get onto some higher ground. Right, we'll pull the boats up here. Ooh, what's this? Little bridge. We'll pull the boats up here and we'll go for the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed that. Just my little rambling on the casting of Lord of the Rings. In general, I mean, I say that there are some casting choices I would have disagreed with, but on the whole didn't really spoil the movies overall. So there you go. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, thanks for enjoying the journey so far. If you're still with me, I'll see you in the next video. Good night.